All right, guys. Can I get your attention, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all who sticked around. Yeah, let me put it on. Yeah. Thank you for all for sticking around. And so this is going to be a little bit different than most of our tutorials. You don't have to follow along. It's just going to more be me showing you a couple of things and some helpful commands and ways to get started in Docker. So first off, Docker is a pretty cool tool. It's been around for a while now, but the concept is not new. So if you think of a virtual machine, you can make a virtual machine and you can put an OS on it, and then you could take that virtual machine to another computer. The cool thing that Docker allows you to do is it gives you an environment to easily make your VM, put everything, your program on it, and then easily transport that to another machine that has Docker installed as well. And the additional feature of Docker is that the community is like huge. So let's say you want to build a PHP application. Instead of having to go through and download PHP and set up all the config files and getting everything in the right order, all you have to do is pull a PHP image from the community and start working inside of that container. So the community is really great, and they have so many different kinds of like applications that are already built. All you have to do is pull it down from the Docker community, and you can start getting going right away. So in the recent years, I'll show you right here, or I guess the recent couple months, there's now a Docker like integrated, so like you can do it straight from your host. You don't have to get like VirtualBox and stuff. For Windows though, it doesn't let you do it on Home Edition, which is the operating system I have. So I still have to use the thing that's been around for a while, which is called Docker Toolbox. But it's still fully functional. Just installs VirtualBox on the back end to host the VM. And all you have to do, install this. And I already have it installed, so I'm just going to bring it up. And just to show you real quick, all you have to do is go into Docker Quick Start Terminal. That installs on both Mac and Windows. Open up the Quick Start Terminal, and then it brings you here. It gives you a terminal to work from. So I guess I can show you just a couple good things to know about some of the Docker commands. So the first one, Docker images. So these are the images that I've pulled down from the community, which is Node and this one called Apache PHP OCI. So cool story, I did a PHP application for my databases class, and they force you to use the CISE database, which requires you to use a special like PHP with OCI plugin feature, and it's like super difficult to get going, and it's really annoying. So being able to just pull this down from the community, I didn't have to do anything, just started working on my application inside of this Docker, so it's very nice. That Lewitt DBRR is actually my project. So quick, another one, so Docker PS-A. So this is just telling you all the different containers that you have running. So I guess quickly, a container is all they call, so you have images and you have containers. Images are just like the base code of what the container can be. So once you start up the image, you get a container, and that's what you're going to be, the virtual machine you're going to be working in. So another good one, Docker pull. Let's do this guy. So all this is doing is, so I did Docker pull and then the image I wanted. And that's going to go look inside of the Docker community, try to pull it down. I already have it downloaded, so everything already checks out that I have the latest installed, and it lets me know at the bottom I'm up to date. So we can run this image fairly easily. It's a little bit of a long command though. So let's type it out real quick. Actually, name SEC. All right. Cool. So just a quick couple things to note. So the -- name gives us a little handle that we can quickly reference this container. So once it's created, it'll get this name SEC, so I can just use that as a shorthand to access the container. -P tells us that we're going to extend the port. So inside of the container, it's automatically telling the virtual machine that it has port 80 to send out its PHP info. So I'm just telling my host, my computer, that its it has port 80, so go ahead and forward port 80 so that I can see it on my browser. So I got that running. Also, a quick note, there's an error that's coming up every time. That's something that I don't know. It started showing up yesterday, but it's just a warning. It has nothing to affect what's going on. All right, so Docker PSA, we can see that the container is up. It's been up for 16 seconds. Port is open for 80, and it's named SEC. Let's should be able to actually quick. One more good one, Docker machine IP. This tells me the IP address for my virtual machine, so I can go ahead and access that from the web. So just copy that real quick, bring that up, and port 80 is the one exposed. And so we can see it's just a blank PHP application, but cool. That's a good way to start off. So I pulled down the image, I just ran it up, did docker run -d-p, gave it a name, and told me which image I wanted to pull up. And it's already up. All right, so every time that you create a container, it's always going to exist. So we want to stop it, and I can call it by SEC. So now we can see PSSA. So now its status is exited 3 seconds ago, but it still exists. So in order for me to be able to use that SEC name again, we're going to remove that. So I can check it again. It's now gone. All right, so let's do something a little more interesting. So I'm gonna create that again. You can see it's still up. Now it's back up. All right. There's also, so it is a virtual machine, so we want to be able to go inside of it sometimes. So we can do that with docker exec IT. The interactive, I just means it's interactive, so I can go into it. T is the tag that it has, SEC, and then we're going to tell it we want to do bash. So now, as you can see, I'm inside of the container. Do a little ls, so you can see the index, that's PHP. That's when we went to the website, that was what was displaying, that index file. Cool. You can just exit out of that, and docker stop, and docker remove. Cool. So every time I run it, if I'm kind of editing something major on the actual Docker container, I'll go ahead and just stop it and then remove it so I don't have to worry about conflicts or anything. But there are, yes? Can
you use Vim within that terminal?
Yeah. So it depends on also the container, so the image that you downloaded. I think for this one, it has VI installed, but not like any complex Vim. But there definitely, it's a big community. There are images that are created with extra things that people like. They say, I really want a really sophisticated Vim on my machine, so in their community image that you can download, they might put that in there. So it all depends on the one that you download. All right. All right, so you can pull, you can also change the port. So just real quickly, if I wanted to expose that port 80 and I only wanted to access it for my browser on port 3000, I could do that, just change it here. So if I wanted to go back to here, instead of port 80, I'd have to go to port 3000. So that's just a little thing you can change around. If you have multiple things going on, you need multiple ports. Okay, so let's do something a little bit more complicated. Let's see where I'm at. CD desktop. All right. So there's also these things called Docker files. So if you want to create modifications to things that are online, these are kind of the best way to go about doing it. It's basically just a file that tells certain commands to execute before, and while it's building a new image for you. So the way I got all these images. The way I got this A Lewitt DBRR going is by taking this one that existed already and then making a Docker file, making some modifications to it, and then saving it as this image, my personal image. So we can do that now. Let's do that. ls vim Docker file. All right. let's remove this. All right, so I'm just doing two things here. First, I'm telling it I want to use this Apache PHP OCI as my base image. So it's going to say from that image, pull that down. That's the first step. And then the second step, for this, my personal application, I don't, so remember when I looked at, let's show it real quick. So when we saw up here, the index.php and logo, I don't want those to be in my application. So in my Docker file, all I'm going to do is remove those files from this app folder, because it's this app folder that this PHP program is going to get all its information. So I want to clear this out first. All right, so let's go back to Vim. So that's what it's going to run the command, remove app folder. Cool.
So how is this different from like a make file?
It's pretty similar. I mean, it's doing exactly that. It's running commands that you want to happen and then building it. Yeah.
It actually creates a new Docker
Image, yeah. So I got that going. All right, next step is to actually build. So we're in the file. Our Docker file is right there. So we're going to do docker build -t. So this is the tag that we're going to give it. I'm going to give it the name, my user handle, Lewitt. I'm going to call it SEC, and then dot to say to look in here for my Docker file. It's not required that you do like your username / whatever. It's just easier for people to kind of see if you're ever going to upload an image to the Docker community. You want them to kind of see this is who uploaded it, and then this is what they called it. So it's going to build. It shows us kind of what happened. It pulled everything. We had the latest. Going to run the remove. Run it. Did it. Successful. Cool. Now if we go Docker images again, now we can see this new image that's popped up, Docker SEC latest, created 19 seconds ago, and so we can go ahead and run from that. So let's do that. Let me pull this. All right, so I'm gonna have to edit this real quick. Yeah, this is what I want to do. All right. So while we're running this, I'm going to show you something else as well. So this -v tag is new here. So another thing that Docker has that's pretty cool is the way to easily add what they call volumes. So when you're doing a development, you usually have files on your computer. You're constantly editing, and then you want your dev environment to see those new changes and then update accordingly. So what the volume does is basically just say, this folder that I'm telling you on my computer, I want you to put that in place in the machine. So here we're saying that this file, right before the colon, that folder, I want to replace the app folder, or be in right there in the app folder. So let me get the right folder actually. Okay. Desktop, Docker, web page. Cool. So that's going to start the running. Port 80 still. It's going to make that volume, and it's going to give it the name SEC, so that our container is going to be named SEC. And it's going to use the image Lewitt/SEC. Got that running. Docker PS. We can see that it is up and it's going solid. Cool. So let's do another Docker exec. Yep. Oh, Docker. Doser. Docker exec IT SEC. I got that right. Bash. Cool. All right, so now we should hopefully see. Cool. So now everything that was in the web pages folder is now here in this folder. And if we go back to our web page, we should hopefully see. Cool. So this is actually the app that we were working on for our databases. But sweet, we have it running. It's doing everything like it's supposed to. Now, since we're in here, let's do a quick vim into our index and see if we can change something real quick. Actually, that's not what I want to do. So we all know that you can go to a file system and change it right away. But let's get out of the bash and let's go to the actual folder. So this is that Docker folder. Go to this web pages, go to the index, pull this up. All right, so right now it says bonjour. Let's change it to welcome. All right, that's saved. That's done on my localhost machine in this folder. We're gonna go back to this, refresh, and it's automatically updated. So that's just a quick demo to show you that things that you're changing on your local machine, volumes make it really easy to edit locally, but see the changes immediately in the actual image or the container that you got running. Yeah.
This might be unrelated, but are you familiar with the text editor brackets?
No.
Okay, they do that. I was curious if they use Docker. I don't know. Just
Maybe.
unrelated. Just curious.
They like. What do you mean, like?
It's a text editor that updates live, so you don't have to save it in like a front file.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I imagine.
Watching your files.
Yeah.
Rerunning your server.
So like on a node server, it might be useful to have it do that for you.
Yeah.
They just like watch your directory and see if any files change, and if any change, then it'll like refresh and like reserve your files.
Right. So thing is, so like PHP doesn't really need that. But if you, let's say you want to run a node application in your container, you might still need like a node module that watches the directory to update for that case. The thing though, that the big difference, right, is that you don't have to download node to your computer. It's already set up inside of this container. So the point was that in the volumes, it's the same files. You don't have to worry about that. But still, if it's an application that's like server based that needs to update itself, you might still need an application to do that for you inside of the container. All right, so let's go back to this. All right, and we can see our image is still there, and Docker PSA. We still have our thing up for 3 minutes now.
Sorry. I'm playing a cough sneeze.
All right, and just one more thing I wanted to touch on. Let's say you finished making your application and you're ready to like package it all into the container and then save that as its own image. The best way I found to do that is to just do another Docker file, or to edit your Docker file. So if we go look in here, vim, Docker file. So before we remove, actually after we remove appends, we're going to go ahead and add this command at the end. So all we're doing here is copying all our files that we have and putting it into that folder that's going to be running for where our app is running. So just copy everything in our current folder where the Docker file is into our app folder on our machine. So it's good. Save that and go ahead and do our build again. Docker build -t, Lewitt still, SEC completed, and tell it dot to say that it's here, that it should be looking for a Docker file. Cool, it's all built. Docker images, let's just check. And yep, now we have our new one done. And go ahead and run that one. Docker run, still need our port. 8080. actually real quick, Docker PS. So this one's still running. Let me just stop this real quick so I can name the new one SEC as well. Oops. All right. Docker run -d -p. Port 80 needs to be exposed. And I'm going to name it SEC. And we're going to use our SEC completed. Run that. All right, so remember to notice here, we don't have that volume connected anymore. So everything that should be running is just what was in that image. Okay, so we can go ahead and make sure that's running. Up for 15 seconds. You can see here, if we refresh, it's still there. All right, so everything is now packaged on an image, and wherever we want to open this, we can download this, save this Docker image, and take it wherever we want to go, and it can be modified there as well. All you need is Docker installed on that computer. Let me just show real quick how to do that. I'm going to show it, but it just... come on. All right. So just a couple commands. Docker save -o, save this image to the specific place and the image that you want to save. It creates a tar file. You move that wherever you want, USB, in the cloud, whatever. And then from the Docker, where you want to load it up from, just going to load -i and then tell it where the tar is. But that's all you have to do to move it. But there's also a way to put it into the community. Just set up a Docker user ID and go ahead and upload. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully that helped you kind of understand where to get started, some helpful commands, and then go ahead and make some cool Docker stuff. Thanks, guys.
And we have tons of pizza left over, so let's like finish it off. So grab another slice. We have like 3 boxes of cheese, like 3.5, and pepperoni. So grab another one. That was really good.
Thanks. Yeah. Do you need it? Sure. What do you mean tended? I mean, it can be. Like, if you have like a base thing that you want to create, right? So like a Node.js application, and you know that your Node applications in the future are always going to have like the X, Y, and Z already installed on it. You can create that image and then save that image, and then wherever you know that you're going to make that Node application, you just already have it all set up into one container. Pull it up, make a new container, like turn that image into a container, like start it up, and then you can just start working in that container.
Okay, so what was your main goal today? Just bringing up an image?
Yeah, just showing you like how to download image from the community, how to kind of toy with it in your own environment, and then being able to make your changes.
What was the command that after you download it? How do you separate that one to your own?
Right, so all I did was create a Docker file. So we go right here. So you create a file called Docker file, and you say from the image you want, and then you just well, here I removed the app file, because PHP runs from the app file or app directory, which is inside of the container. So I removed everything that was in there, and then from there I could start adding my own files into the app folder.
The preloaded stuff that was already in the app, you got rid of everything.
Got rid of.
From the same place, but you just put your own stuff.
Replaced what was inside of the app folder in the container with the files that were on my computer and put it in that app folder.
The image file is basically a big library or whatever you made, kind of like whatever you made.
What image file?
The image file, like that just contains.
Oh yeah. So the images like here. So these are all the images that like everything that you want to be packaged into that image. So like if you, because you know at the end how I saved it like it has all my files in it now, and I saved it as, so from now on that image always has all my files in it.
And this is separate from the one you downloaded, right? That downloaded one's still a period, but now the one you made has a period plus whatever you added, and now it's a new template, whatever later on you might.
Right, so now if I use that SEC completed one, and I say, I always want my app to look like this to begin with, so I can, wherever I want to do a PHP with this like base image, I take the image where I want it, I start it up, I make a container from that image, and I start working in that container. It already has everything, like all my code in it, all the web pages already there, and I can just start working on it. Yeah.
It's a little bit, it hurts my head a little bit. My head already hurts right now.